Hello everybody, I hope you are doing good today. I know that today is Palm Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not, I told you before, I am Eastern Orthodox, so my Easter is on a different Sunday than yours. But anyway, I will show you how to make some really quick and easy Easter egg earrings if you're just now thinking of wearing something for next week. So you can use absolutely any polymer clay. I'm going to get here some, I think this is what was the name of this? Sunshine? Not sunshine. Oh God, I am having one of those. Hold on, I'm able to find it real fast. Primo. It's the pearlescent. I know one of them is magenta and the other one is... I wish there was one thing that you could use, but you can... Sunset pearl. Okay, it's sunset pearl, not sunshine, sunset. No, sorry, that's souffle. Souffle started doing pearls. I am so behind on some stuff. But should be also sunset. I know it's got a sun in the name. Anyway, you can use, I see that now they have a rose gold, metallic, and other ones. And by the way, if you want to get some more stuff, hi Lane. No, it's not the magenta, that's what I was saying. It's the other one that's a little bit more coralish. The magenta is more fuchsia-ish. Remember, my camera twists a little bit the colors. So that's why you see different things. So what you need with it is, if you have any of these, remember that you can find them on my Amazon influencer store. They are fairly cheap and you get over 20 of them. These stencils, and it's, by the way, it's much easier to use stencils than to use silk screens. And sorry, I'm still wearing a woolen jacket because we are now getting out of a cold snap that we had, and I guess until around 2 o'clock it's gonna still be a little chilly. So the best thing is to use something that has a line type of a print, and you can just use one like this and one like this. You don't have to have many kinds, but I will show you how you can do actually, and I forgot to grab an important one, and I showed this to my members. Hi Christina. And by the way, now that Christina's here, aren't we a week later in Eastern Orthodox, a week later than Catholics? Because I don't want to go ahead and do a search. Okay, so let me do a blue because it's more visible. So you simply do, first of all, make sure that it is well. Before I did this, I shouldn't have. To make sure it is well stuffed. And you can do this with acrylics as well. You don't have to use mica powder. If you don't want to put resin on them, use perfect pearls. So we have one, and blow. Close this. Yeah, it's 1 week later. That's what I thought. All right, so we got one, and then let me do another one. Would be, yeah, let's do that. No, I'm gonna just leave one of them and then do an over. And we are going to do the over with an interference. And this time I'm going to only do this and this. Hey, and of course I had to drop something. My hands are not in the best place right now with all the work I had to do in the garden. Because you want these to be kind of like barely noticeable. Hi, Kalyana. There you go. And again, blow. And then all we need is simply a, of course you can make it smaller, you can make it larger. Would this fit for both? Yeah. So I would go with this for earrings, but I'm going to use the larger one so you can see better how it looks like. And here we go. And let me resin it. Yeah, Kalyana, it was your name that I couldn't remember last time, wasn't it? When those toothpicks want to get all scrambled, they get scrambled. And simply, and then you don't have to do anything else. Maybe do a little bit of sanding on the back so you won't have that mirror type of, I mean that very, very shiny effect that you normally have when you bake on something that's very shiny. And then you can put on the very edges. You can rub either some golden wax or even acrylic. And do a little bit of heat gun on the acrylic so it would get baked into the clay. Acrylic usually, unless you're talking about something that would get rubbed a lot, I mean touched a lot, like on switch plates and stuff, otherwise it doesn't really need varnishing because it kind of bonds with the clay when you bake it. Okay. What the heck? My chair got moved when I was looking under the table. Okay, now the next thing, I'll try and see if I have I have some pink here that makes pretty eggs. Just a second. Yeah, it's windy here and it's chilly, but I've still gone outside to do stuff because I need to get the faucet in my backyard is in really bad shape and it needs to be replaced because it kind of leaks all over the place, and I need to get it fixed. Tomorrow's gonna be a friend coming to fix it, and I had to clean the back porch. It was so full of leaves and stuff. Alrighty, and then you can grab whatever cane remnants you have, okay? It doesn't really matter. Only make sure that the colors don't clash. That would be the only requirement. Now, I don't know if you remember that I did a while ago some canes. Come out from here. And if you search the among my lives, you will find it. Like there was this butterfly cane, and at that time, and then there was this one that was more of a brocade type cane. And at that time, I did show you how to actually make a line with that, and that is a little butterfly line. Got so very easy. I'm going to cut a slice. And I better get the cane slicer. Oh my God. And working on stuff, all kinds of stuff, doesn't help with, because I got my table permanently busy. And make sure that your slice is fairly thin. And before doing anything else, you want to make sure that the edges are straight. But as I said, you can use practically any kind of cane. It doesn't have to be exactly this cane. I would just make it in tiles and then glue the tiles on the chest. That's what I would do. Okay, this one is not perfectly straight. And then I can use this one for the top and the bottom. Again, try to get them as thin as possible. And again, so I want one about here and one about here. So And then we burnish. Remember, first use your fingertips before using anything else. Yes, but as long as you measure, like for example, first measure the chest, and then let's say it's like 12 inches by 8 inches, right? You divide in 2 inches tiles, 2 by 2 tiles, count how many tiles you need, and go from there. Just simply glue them, and you can even use a sanding after that, or use a varnish on top of them, make it look like ceramic or porcelain. That should be just fine, should be perfect. You shouldn't have any reason whatsoever. And again, I'm not rolling, I am just rubbing because I don't want to mess up the pattern. I'm pressing and rubbing, and that will give you the least deformation. Because what you're trying to do is to press the top into the existing clay. And you can feel with your fingers when it's all flat. And there we go. And now we can cut it. And we have now the painted egg pattern. There we go, that's another little Easter egg. Of course, as I said, I would go with the one that's a little bit smaller, and you can go with very small ones, but you'll have to reduce the canes accordingly, right? The other thing that you can do is to actually use a cabochon. Okay, so here we have the other one. And you don't have to use the interference necessarily. You can use a completely different color. You don't even have to use metallics or pearlescents, or for that matter, mica powder. You can just use plain regular acrylic on regular clay. Why I was talking about the resining is if you use Pearlex powder or chalk pastels, you're going to have to seal them, and the resin does a great job. If you're using perfect pearls or regular acrylic, you will not need any kind of resining. Okay, so this would be one other one. Another way of doing stuff would be, remember I was showing you the inlay, but in our case I would go for, let me see if I have anything to show you here. I wouldn't go for a regular mokumegane. I would go something stamped and something that would be in line. That's the thing that you need to remember. Make lines like this and then place so the lines have to go this way and then you place the oval cutter like this. You can use, by the way, Polyclay Play has some nice transfers. You can use transfers, you can use whatever. The whole idea is that, okay, let me show you exactly what I mean. So I'm going to grab this again, and I am going to give it a, or maybe no, I'm going to grab the pink because it's easier to work with color wise. Alrighty. And this is what I want to show you, something that can be done really fast and without a lot of fuss. Okay, so I'm going to grab a general, just to show you the idea. You can use whatever else you want as patterns. Okay, I'm going to use a general, I'll put this aside and use a general pattern. You can use a silk screen, you can use whatever your heart desires. Let's see, this looks pretty good, maybe. I'm trying to get something that's not linear. That's more, yeah, let's use that one. Alright, so I'm going to use red on it. And once again, fixing my thing here. And I'm going to use this fuchsia, which is actually, let me put my eyes on to read to you. This one is flamingo pink. Okay. And don't go like this, because you risk of getting the dust under the stencil. But you want to make sure that it is everywhere where your cutter will cut. And also make sure that you clean your brush between. You don't have to wash it, just simply rub it on a paper towel. Okay, blow. And this is so pretty, isn't it? And now I'm going to use another one that's got lines, right? I'm going to use this one. And use the blue again. Or you can use something even darker, or a gold. But you want to go over that. Flamingo pink. And the whole idea is that you need that line so it would look like an Easter egg. Okay, remember the painted, wax painted Easter eggs? I got it like this, and then all we have to do is, but again, because I used Perlex on this, it would need oh, I said I was going to use the bigger one. Where's my bigger one? Here's my bigger one. You need to use resin. I'm going to try to get this in the middle. And then real quick, I lost my toothpick. I lost my toothpick. I'm in the middle of doing some experiments again with a specific fall gemstone. By the way, I was telling my members yesterday during the live that someone is raffling again through my tutorials and making tutorials after them. For now, I noticed the Petowski stone, the malachite, and a few other things. So, okay, she's going to make me work to make again some tutorials with those, with a link to the old ones. Oops, I went over. Okay, now can we use plain cane remnants to do this kind of stuff? Absolutely, and I will show you how. Let me get again in my, because I have several older canes here. I hope it, no, I didn't pick the right ones. Just a second. I need to get up. Oh, goodness gracious me. I'm sorry, I'll be right there. I cannot move very fast, I'm sorry. Okay, so these are my old, some old micro canes, but that's exactly what I was looking for in terms of what to do. So what are micro canes? Micro canes are things that, they are canes that you work very, very delicately, and then you have to super reduce, okay? And they will make absolutely fabulous, fabulous designs. The thing is that, as with all of them, and I think this is a tartan, a micro tartan, yes. Okay, with all of them, all you have to make sure that you do is properly align them. So I have these here, and I'm going to make a line. And on this you have to make sure that they are all the same size. And everybody is going to ask you, oh my God, what is that? Look at those super detailed details. Super tiny, super duper, okay? Just make sure that they are all the same size. They don't even have to be totally stuck, because you can rearrange them, but they need to be perfectly aligned here. Okay, now the first slice obviously will not be the best slice under the world, but and before I do anything else, I'm going to cut my middle slice, because you want the delimitation, the middle of the egg. So the same as with the other ones, I'm going to place one line here. And after I place it, I need to make sure that it is straight cut. So I'm actually going to remove completely this gold wrapping, just to be sure. And you can put anything in the middle, just make sure it's quite contrasting with the rest. And then all you do is, and these of course you can put a backing on them. Let's see if 2 slices on each side will be enough. And this will look like super detailed and delicate pisanki. That is the, I don't even need 4 here. That is the name, the native name of the painted eggs. Okay, and then we go again with the burnishing. I would nevertheless either sand and burnish or put some lacquer on it, because usually the pisanki, they might not be lacquered, but what is normally used, it would be either a rendered chicken fat, more like goose fat, or just plain vegetable oil to make them shiny. And by the way, that is also used on regular eggs to cover the pores and make them last longer. See how I have here? There's There we go. And then we use the cutter. Actually, I'm gonna use the small one because I don't want to put another layer. And there we go. We have some beautiful pisanka. And I will close up, zoom in so you can see better. So here's four different, not three, four different. Oh, shut up. Put this here. And I am going to first put this back. Well, remember I told you if I don't put stuff back, then I'm looking for it and I cannot find it. Like I cannot find my Aqua Flash color shift. Some gremlins got it. Okay, so let's go ahead to and refocus. All right, so this one I already showed you. I'm going to go even closer with the other one. And this is the other one with, there we go, with all the little details. And this is the micro cane one. And you can see it's super tiny detailed, and you can do it like this. But micro caning in general is I personally love micro caning, and tiny Pandora square pairs do help a lot if you want to micro cane, and I always recommend them. But you have here 4 different ways of making. Actually, these two are kind of similar, but they all have the same principle I told you with the lines. And they are very easy and quick to make. And you can use any old canes. On this one, give me just a second. I'll try and find the butterfly. It's butterfly, not bitterfly. I have my keyboard all the way up here. And I have to reach over. Okay. Not this one. Oh. Oh yeah, I found it. And this was for a sphere. And also, of course, you can use the canes for covering eggs. I think it's this one, but anyway, it's a similar one. If it's not this exact one, it's a similar one. Actually, there is a tutorial on a similar cane for members. If you give me a minute, but it is for members. And there's a cane for, there's a micro cane that you can use for something else. That was with, this one specifically was for Valentine's Day, but you can use a different thing. There you go, this one. And let me find. Okay. I think it is for members only. Yeah, it is a members only one. And it is very similar to this one, actually. It just has some different colors. Then you can watch it. There you go. I gave you the direct link to it. And it's not this exact one, but it's very similar. It's super similar. Hold on, let me put it a little bit on display. See, the micro caning is very similar. And you can make it even smaller. So, yeah. Oh no, I didn't show it. Never mind. There you go. I clicked on the wrong thing. So see, it is very, very similar. So I clicked on the lock thing. But where's a bug on my table? I don't see a bug on my table. There was some kind of a skinny moth earlier. It kept flying on my monitor. Where is it? Tell me, up, down, right, left. Because it's spring and all the bugs outside want to come inside. I'll have to check. And also I need to start putting some, before we start getting rain, I need to put some ant granules. I don't see the bug. I'll look for it. Anyway, you don't have to sign yourself anymore. Now we know it's you. I just forgot last time. Okay. So I hope you liked it, and I hope you'll try them. And I shall see you next Sunday. I promise you I will have an Easter broadcast. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful... It walked towards the right of my... I didn't see anything. I'll check. I promise I'll check. Okay, see you all next Sunday. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget, if you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.